Welcome to Her Seat at the Table, a conversation series featuring badass women in food and beverage and their experiences in the turbulent, ever-changing, and utterly human industry of hospitality. I'm your host, Sarah Abernethy. I'm a North Carolina-based restaurateur and entrepreneur evolving into my next era in food and beverage. I'm on a mission to share candid conversations, lessons learned, and newfound inspiration with you through a female-led perspective. Thank you for joining me at the table today. Today, I am talking to Anne Liu. You know her from Queer Eye Season 8 in New Orleans, where honestly, I feel like that was the best home glow-up I had seen on the entire series from the wonderful Bobby Burke. This conversation was our first time actually meeting, but it was one of those where I felt like we were old pals and we had gone back for years and years. Anne is deeply rooted in New Orleans, and from the perspective of a chef, she has done everything. She's been a chef owner, she has been an executive chef, she's been on Chopped, she took social media by storm with her viral Pho-rito pop-ups, and now she is taking the world by storm on her own. She is focusing on consulting, pop-up dinners, and she's even launching a new CPG product later this year. I loved meeting Anne. I know you will too, so please enjoy my conversation with Anne Liu. And yeah, like I said, hopefully this will just feel like you and me having coffee and meeting for the first time. And
Yeah, totally.
So you're in DC right now?
Yeah, I'm in DC right now. I'm just visiting my best friend. She lives here. She's my best friend from high school, in New Orleans, but she is sick. So she recently got diagnosed with some cancer, and I'm here for the week just to spend some quality time with her and hang out and, be best friends.
Ah,
Yeah.
so sorry. That
Ye
is the
No, she's actually doing, like, really, really what like, so much better than she was when she got diagnosed. So, it's all good. Like, there's no crazy timeline or anything like that. It's, like, kinda scary, but I think all the most scary parts are over, and we're on the mend, you know?
I mean, no one wants that word to come into their universe.
Yeah, we're so young, like, we're 40, so
Yeah.
yeah, it was unexpected, but, it's like there's a lot of good things that come out of it too because it kinda shakes you awake again, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh my gosh, this life, we gotta do things,"
Shit is temporary.
Shit is temporary, so yeah, we have some exciting plans and trips to take and yeah, but I was able to get away because it's Mardi Gras in New Orleans right now,
Oh
and
my God, that's right.
yeah, so I'm from there. I've been living back there for 6 years, and Mardi Gras gets kinda old,
I
because it's
imagine
like
it's like the Times Square of New York City where you're like, I just don't.
yeah, well, it's just like the whole city kind of like shuts down for it. And there's like a lot of roads that are closed. There's all these drunk people everywhere. The city is just littered with trash, and it's just like it gets old and everyone's just like eating sugary, like king cakes and drinking. And it's just like all this debauchery that I honestly, my body can't handle anymore. Like I can't drink and do drugs like I used to.
All right. I mean,
I,
there's a version of me inside the many layered onion that is me that would have enjoyed that experience. Uh,
mm-hmm.
I have been to New Orleans only once, and it was fun. It was definitely a fun trip, but I really wish I could go back as like a real grown up.
Mhm. You should come after Mardi Gras, like,
Like,
cause springtime is yeah, like March, April, May is like all the fun music festivals and it's crawfish season, so it's like the height of the culture of our crawfish eating, and like
really.
yeah, and it's just nice weather, like it's temperate, not too hot, cool, sunny, and it's really beautiful in New Orleans, but Mardi Gras is kind of just like all the locals kind of get away from Mardi
Yeah.
Gras.
That makes sense. I lived in
Yeah.
San Diego for a little while, where I met the love of my life, now husband and baby daddy, and it was like that for Comic-Con. I don't
Oh.
know how familiar you are with Comic-Con.
I know about Comic-Con, yeah.
Yeah, and
Strange.
I worked downtown for several years while I lived there, and it felt I don't know, like, maybe it wasn't the same intensity as Mardi Gras, but it really did feel like the city gets taken over. You can't
Mhm,
really get where you're planning to go downtown or through downtown if you need to go through
mhm.
downtown for anywhere. And then there's just, like, a lot of riffraff that you just don't wanna bump into.
Yeah, people are just acting a fool everywhere, right?
A fool because 'cause they're on
Mhm.
spring break in their hearts.
Right? It's
But
like you've never partied before, like, chill.
I did not go during Mardi Gras. I think it was March when I went to New Orleans.
Mhm.
I was technically a grown up, but I was 22, 23. I don't
Mm,
know. It was
that's not really grown up, no.
a different era. But I do still remember some of the meals I had there was just some of the best dining experience of my entire life. Um,
Mhm. I feel like the service in New Orleans is unmatched, like
yeah.
yeah, like, when I moved to Portland and started eating out there and being in restaurants there, that the service was the thing that I noticed, like, first about the differences between dining out in Portland and dining out in New Orleans, and, like, the relationships that you have with restaurant people, like, people will remember your face, like, there's so many restaurants that have regular customers in New Orleans, and so it really does feel like you're walking into your friend's house or, just like the friendly banter is kinda necessary when you're having a dining experience with your server, Like, you don't want someone that's just like, "What do you want?" You know?
Well, it sets the whole tone. It's like that quote, you always remember how people made you feel.
Exactly, and I feel like the service in Portland was like, the food was next level, like, all of the culinary scene there was incredible, the chefs were incredible, but just, like, the experience of dining out at I wouldn't say it was great at every single place, like, most places, it's just like, "You're a number, hurry up and eat and get out of here," you know? Of course, it wasn't true for, like, every single place, but since I was also a chef and a restaurant owner in Portland, people knew me. So, like, and I had friends all over the place. So it was definitely like a different experience for me versus a regular person just going out to eat. But yeah, that was like when I was fresh there, that was the thing that I noticed first.
So, okay, what brought you to Portland? And what year was that when you moved to
So I moved there in 2009. I was like 22, 23, something like that. My parents are relocated there after Katrina. My sister is 15 years older than me, so she had married somebody who grew up out there, and she was out there, and so after Katrina happened, like, my dad's business and our house flooded, and so they were like, "Well, we might as well move to where the family is," and so my sister is the only one out of our 3 siblings that, has children,
Mhm.
so they had the grandkids. My parents were like, "Let's move to the grandkids," and that's how they ended up out there. But gosh, life has changed so much since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much life.
So much life.
Yeah, and they moved there, like, a month after Katrina, and I moved out there, like, a few years after Katrina. I was only 19 when Katrina happened. I
We're
was
the same age, you and me.
Yeah, yeah, my 40th birthday is in August, so whoop, whoop.
Virgo or a Leo?
I'm a Leo.
Oh,
Yes, and
okay.
I'm a tiger in my Lunar New Year zodiac, so I'm a liger. Yeah. I was about to go into my sophomore year of college, and then Katrina happened, and I didn't have anywhere else to go, really, but I was like, "Bye, family, I wanna stay in New Orleans."
Mhm.
So, I was going to Loyola University in New Orleans, and then I transferred to a school called Louisiana Tech in North Louisiana because that's where a lot of Tulane and Loyola students were going because they hadn't started their semester yet when the hurricane hit. They have a late start and all the other schools in the state had already started. So it just seemed like an easier time to just go there because they hadn't started school yet and I wouldn't have missed anything. Also, like, my high school boyfriend was going there, and I was like, "Ooh, high school boyfriend," and he turned out to be, like, terrible and like, just cheating on me all the time with college girls, you know? So, I just spent a year there and missed home, and then I went back to New Orleans and started working in restaurants again. I was working at this sushi place when Katrina hit called Wasabi, just as, like, a hostess.
Mhm.
And I had actually quit that job the weekend that Katrina hit it already. And then they were like, "Well, this hurricane's coming, so don't come in." And then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, we have to evacuate. Everybody has to leave." Okay. It was a time.
It was a
And I remember, like, I evacuated with my mom and dad and brother in one car. And it took us 7 hours to even get to Baton Rouge, which is normally less than an hour away.
God.
And I remember just, like, all these people running out of gas on the side of the road, and all the gas stations were out of gas, and the cell phones were all jammed because everybody was trying to call at the same time. It was so scary, and then we somehow get to Baton Rouge, and then our family has to split up because, like, everybody is in Baton Rouge. So there's, like, not a lot of room at, friends and relatives' house, so I ended up staying with a friend that I had a class with in college. I was like, "Hey, can I, stay at your house?" So, like, I stayed there for a few days, the power went out, and then when the power started coming back on and we could watch the news, we were like, "Oh." So, my parents picked me up, we went to Texas. I had a cousin living in Houston. So, we drove to Houston, and we were trying to figure stuff out from there. And I was like, "Well, I need to go back to school, so I'm gonna go to this school." And that was probably like, I don't know, like an 8-hour drive from Houston. So my parents just like drove me and dropped me off at school and then like left. And I remember they put all of the FEMA applications in my name because I was still in Louisiana and they were moving to Oregon. And so we get this like FEMA check for $20,000 or something, which in hindsight is not very much money because they just like lost their home, all this stuff.
Possessions, right?
I was 19, I was still living with them. And so they were like, "Why don't you just keep this check and you can just be on your own?" And I'm like, "Okay." So they're like, "Here, be free." So I was like, "Okay, bye." Yeah, then I was on my own ever since then.
This
Yeah,
is like an epic drama.
I know.
We have been through it. Like, I since bec since emerging into adulthood,
Yeah.
I just think we've been through it.
Yes,
And then
us millennials, we've really been through it.
and you and I have also chosen chaotic vocations, for our
Jeez. So
livelihood.
you currently own a restaurant now?
Yes. So I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. My husband and I own and operate 2 locations here. One is a brew
Ugh.
pub. So when I saw your episode of Queer Eye, I was like, "Oh my god!" I mean, I just saw so much of myself in you. It was so cool to see
Yeah.
your story on that show. So a brew pub in downtown Raleigh that has been a very beloved restaurant location for a very long time, but
Mm,
needed somebody to come in and breathe some fresh life into it.
mhm,
Great location, old building built in the 1940s, which is sort of a nightmare to maintain, but it's
mhm.
very it's very cool. It's got this big patio that overlooks the Raleigh city skyline.
What's the name of it?
It's called Y Hill Kitchen and Brewing.
Oh, okay, I
Yes.
see it on the screen.
That you see on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Y Hill. And
Okay.
that little V in the H is the shape of the railroad tracks that goes right in front of our restaurant.
Oh,
That
cool.
intersection is called a Y, W.
Oh, I would love to come visit you. I've never
Come
really been
hang.
to Raleigh, North Carolina.
Come hang. Raleigh is happening. Raleigh is
Yeah.
happening. The secret's out.
Oh, yeah.
We just got our first Michelin, round
Oh, wow.
this year, so
I mean, to believe it or not, so did New Orleans.
get out!
Yeah, like,
First one?
the first Michelin stars came out this past season for New Orleans.
That's
Yeah.
shocking.
So shocking, right? They've never come here before. Yeah.
That seems like a gross oversight. Like, Raleigh I can get, but
Yeah.
whatever.
And oh Lord, did the people of New Orleans have opinions about what Michelin chose?
I mean, so did they in Raleigh, but
Yes,
not like to
yes.
get into that,
Yeah,
off
we'll
mic.
get into that later.
Get into that off mic with a cocktail. Just a quick break in today's conversation to extend an invitation to you. Your listenership and your support of the podcast truly, truly means the world to me. And it does take a significant amount of resources to produce this podcast. So if you have enjoyed these conversations, if you want to help continue ensuring that these conversations and this visibility are available to the women in our community and the people who need it most, I invite you to join our Her Seat at the Table Patreon community. You can join for as little as $3 a month, which is basically like buying me a cup of coffee, which would be very appreciated. And I do have some cute perks in there, everything from doing a live shout out of your name on an upcoming episode, all the way to an invitation to the upcoming Her Seat at the Table dinner party, which I host in the fall of each year in Raleigh, North Carolina. So thank you for considering, thank you for listening, and let's jump back into our conversation.
Yeah, right.
Yes, you should totally come to Raleigh. It is happening. Our other location is about 20 miles down the road in Durham,
Oh, okay.
Raleigh, Durham, and it's called Glass House Kitchen. It is much more upscale, but still
Oh, cool.
eclectic and whimsical and fun. And both locations, we really are trying to intentionally infuse this vibe of, hey, we know the rules of dining, but we're going to make it fun and silly on purpose.
That's the trend, I think, because people are becoming more of themselves as the world goes to shit, you know? Because people are like, "Fuck it, who cares? You don't like it? Leave." Yeah.
Now, my P&L tells me that all people really want is a cheeseburger. That's all they want.
Yes.
That's all they want. And there's really
That's
nothing I can
all they
right now.
fucking want.
So, okay, the cheeseburger
Because we're so
area.
basic in America.
I will say I forced my husband to watch you on TV because I wanted him to experience the burrito.
Yes.
Because he's from Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
And first of all, cannot find a proper burrito, he says, in Raleigh, Durham.
Really?
Can't, according to him.
Okay. Is he Hispanic or
He's a white guy.
Okay. Okay.
He is accustomed to a certain caliber of tortilla, and he says
Sure.
not available.
That's what every Californian says. That's what they're like, "Well, we're superior."
And then our favorite date night meal is pho.
Oh,
So
thanks.
yeah, so he loved that idea, but we
Yes.
would I would love to enjoy an Ann Lou burrito at some point.
I can come to a pop-up.
At some point. Okay, so you're in Portland, and
Mhm.
you relocate to Portland. Family is there. That makes sense.
Mhm.
Service is different, but did you
Mhm.
immediately jump into food and beverage when you were there?
Yeah, so I, like, moved there to go to culinary school, essentially, because my parents were living there already, and I was like, "I need to be near my family, I think." So I chose the culinary school that was in Portland, and
Like you had knew that you were like, this is my path. I'm going to cook food and make great.
yeah, I mean, I kind of knew I started cooking when I was 16,
Mhm.
like, professionally, like, I started working in a restaurant as a cook, as a line cook when I was 16. And my friends' parents were a part of this restaurant group that owned a bunch of different restaurants around town. So my first restaurant job was a Mexican restaurant actually called Vaqueros. And it was kind of like not like super high end or super casual, it's kind of middle of the road. You know, I was making nachos and tacos and enchiladas, but they also had like shrimp and polenta and a stuffed pork chop and stuff on the menu. So it was like my first real line cook experience and it was hard. I tell you, I definitely wanted to quit. People were mean to me because I was like a little girl like, and didn't know anything and making mistakes, you know.
Was
But I
it
like
volume or was it
I mean, it was
like
like a medium-sized restaurant. It wasn't crazy big or anything, but I don't like It was in, like, a row of other restaurants,
Yeah.
so I would say normal, nothing crazy high volume or huge. But, like, I could have quit at any time and done something different because I was 16, but I don't know, it stuck with me, and that is the career that I chose. Like, yeah, so now I'm still chefing.
Still chefing, but you've had such a journey, and that's what I think is so cool about your story, and I think that this community would find like me, I think people see a lot of parts of themselves reflected in a story like yours.
Yeah, I've gotten so many DMs online about my story from people who really see themselves in my story. And you know what? Like, I think that that was the most healing part about the experience was just hearing from real people being like, "Me too, girl." And I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad that I can inspire people to kind of get out of their funks because, like, man, I was in a huge funk when the filming of the episode
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
I was, like, right on the cusp of
The Queer Eye
wanting to quit
episode,
my job, you
just in
know?
case if anyone's listening and they're like, "What episode are you talking about?" It's Queer Eye.
Right. Episode 6, season 8.
Um,
Yes.
yes. Yeah, you were in a crossroads moment.
I was definitely in a crossroads. I agreed to be on the show as, like, a last ditch effort to make the restaurant busy, honestly.
It's something I wanted to ask you, but I didn't know if I could. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that
Now that all of my NDAs have, like, expired, girl, let me tell you.
yeah, I really feel like people now are like, "Oh, well, let me just go on a reality show as a PR strategy."
It really is, like, cause I was on Chopped in 2015,
Yeah.
and that really made my restaurant explode, you know? It was great and exposure. I mean, I didn't get paid to do that, and I didn't really get paid to do Queer Eye, but it's just, like, all about exposure, and that is what you get taught as a chef, like, you gotta do a lot of free stuff in order for you to become well known, you know? And I mean, kinda bullshit, but it's not the only industry where you have to do that, you know? So I mean, I think it's becoming a less and less of a thing because, the Gen Zers are more blunt about what their boundaries and what they want are, right? So, I'm still in the mindset of like, well, I gotta do some free stuff to make it out there because, like, people just view food in a different way than they view every other product, you know? They don't wanna pay more for it unless it's, like, this crazy fancy experience that, at the end of the day might not even be as good as, like, a regular ass meal, you know? One of my favorite movies is The Menu, oh my gosh.
Oh my god. I watch it all the time.
I love that movie because you really just don't understand it unless you're a chef, you know? And, like
And, like, it is obviously, like, very dark, but Chris and I just laugh and laugh and laugh
it's
because
so
there's
good.
so much to it that's, like, just so on the nose. It's
Right. It's just like and it highlights all of the things that I truly hated about the industry and, like, it it solidified all of the decisions that I've made for myself up until now, you know?
how much longer were you at the brew pub after the show aired?
Just a year.
Okay.
Yeah. 'Cause, like, basically, during filming, I wasn't aware that there were 2 seasons that were being filmed at the same time. So I thought I was gonna be in the next season like everyone else, you know? But then, like, closer to the air date, they were like, "Actually, you're gonna be in season 8 instead of 7." And I was like, what does that mean?" And they're like, "Oh, it's not gonna air till next year." I was like, "Next year?" I was like, "I don't
Yeah.
have another year in me to keep going at this restaurant,"
Yeah.
you know?
Were you a partner there? Can I ask you that?
I was not,
You were
thank
just an
God.
employee.
Yes.
Okay.
I was after I sold Tapalaya in Portland, I was, like, so oh my gosh. I was so traumatized by that
Well, I
whole
also, like, a
entire
stupid question for you.
experience.
Like,
God, I
what
let's get into it. Gosh.
seriously, like, what do you wish you had known or what I don't know, like, nothing can prepare you for any of this shit, right? Like, nothing can prepare you for being an owner for the first time. Nothing can
No.
prepare you for selling. But, like, what do you wish you had known now on the other side of it? The experience of selling your Portland place.
Well, gosh, my whole story with that with ownership there because like I worked there for 7 years before I bought it and then I owned it for 3. And like I decided to buy it with my sister and her husband. And that was kind of the worst mistake ever because
Mm.
uh, you don't really know your family until you get down to the nitty-gritty and see who they really are. And it's unfortunate to say, but like we do not speak anymore.
Wow.
And it's because I discovered that they had no clue what they were doing and they were also being really greedy and they also like took all my money, right? So,
It's
and they also didn't care that I didn't have any money, right?
that's so fucked up. It's
It's so fucked up. And also our mother died in a car accident the same
uh,
week we bought this restaurant, right?
oh my God.
Yeah, like a few days before we signed the closing papers, my mom dies in a car accident in Texas with my dad. Like my dad is alive, obviously, but like he was driving and like it happened. The accident happened on the Monday. She died on Tuesday. We signed the papers on Friday, right?
Shit.
But my sister like went to Texas to like figure out what how to get her body back to Oregon and all that stuff. My brother went with her and I was like, "Oh," I automatically assumed that I would go and she would buy me tickets to go, because I was a poor chef. And she basically was like, "No, you have to stay here and buy the restaurant." And I was like, "We're still buying this restaurant this week?" What?
Really?
Yeah. So I have a lot of resentful feelings.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I have a lot of resentful feelings about that time because then I just sort of went into this blur of like delving all the way into the restaurant instead of like giving myself time to heal and breathe and all that stuff. And I was just like in it and working 7 days a week, like 90 hours a week, being the chef still, being the operating manager, doing all the books, doing all the payroll, like keeping track of all the money, like doing all of it because my sister sort of didn't end up helping me in the way that I thought she would with the business. She just sort of dropped out without a conversation, right? So I was kind of left to deal with every single thing myself. And I was overwhelmed. I was just the chef of the place before, like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But I tried my best and I kept that restaurant open for as long as I could. And then,
You did that for 3 years with all that
yeah,
on your back? That I mean, that is extraordinary,
yeah,
and extraordinary that you kept it open and kept all those people employed, but
yeah.
it is absolutely unreasonable and unsustainable.
Oh,
Um,
totally. I mean, luckily, my old boss who owned the restaurant before me, like, kind of remained to be like my mentor after I bought the place to just make sure the transition was smooth and like the bookkeeper that she had still stayed on. And so I would have these monthly P&L meetings with him to make sure I was doing okay. But after my first month, holy shit, my labor was like 50%. And I was like, oops.
I mean, you really do. You learn it all so differently when
Yeah.
you're looking at the books and it's all on you. It's like
Hmm.
financial literacy. I'm so like this is one of my deepest areas of shame, but
Yeah.
I'm saying it out loud because I
It's
think
not a
it's
thing.
important.
It's not a thing that people make important. It's really
No,
weird.
and you don't know it until you're accountable to know it, and then, I don't know, there's sort
Yes.
of like a shame spiral of like, "Why the fuck did I do this? Like, was this a huge
Yes.
mistake? Am I even qualified to be an operator?" But
Yes.
I'm 8 I hope all that relates. I hope I'm not alone in this circle, but,
Oh, yeah.
we're in year 8 of operating. Our restaurant's
Wow.
open, and I just, like, within the last chapter, learned how to read a P&L. Took
Really? Girl.
I'm saying it out loud because it is embarrassing, but if other people are out there and they are in a similar spiral, I just, like, want people to not feel alone, and it's because
Yeah.
Chris, my husband, handled all of it. That's
Exactly.
so Chris
Exactly.
handled all of it, so I and we weren't gonna talk it was not helpful for us as a married couple to talk about money in that way, so, like, he took that, in his
Mm.
lane, and I took on other responsibilities in mine, but
Wait, so what are your roles at the business?
Great question. Great question.
Wait, who's the
Um,
chef?
so neither of us are chefs, and we are
Oh.
actually two theater kids.
Oh.
And it sounds like a very sharp left turn career-wise, but in fact, opening and running this restaurant is exactly like opening and running a play, a musical.
Mhm. Mhm.
You have a lot of parallels. You have a lot of young, very passionate employees. You have
Agreed.
dealing with
Yeah.
a lot of creative people who sometimes have unreasonable, outlandish expectations and emotional needs to be cared
Yeah.
for.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
and you have to open every night and do the same show every night with all of this shit going on in the back.
Consistency. Yes.
Like,
Mhm.
your walk-in is down, or this order is wrong, or this person got COVID, or like in some horrible cases,
Yeah.
and like horrible things happen, and you just have like in your
You roll
experience
with
too,
it.
and you
Yeah.
gotta open because it's week to week, and or
It's day to day.
yeah, like in our case, it it's very difficult to keep it going. So neither of us are chefs. Chris, my husband, is the set designer operations wizard. And he really
Okay.
is but cannot talk to people. Cannot
Mm,
what we're doing right now, absolutely not. No no interest in tooting the horn or like,
right.
being out on the floor because he really is introverted. And
Sure.
I am obviously not. But he's our number one call for any maintenance issue, electrical, plumbing,
Well, that's good. You have like a built-in handyman.
have
Jeez.
a built-in handyman. That is one of the reasons why we're still open at all, because
Yeah.
he has saved
Save so much money. Yeah.
so much money and time in being able to fix shit. At first, I didn't have a defined role because when you're doing something, as I'm sure you know, when you're doing something, if your partner is involved in a business, you, the partner, are involved no matter what. Like if
Yeah.
you have an official role or not, you're in it.
Yep.
So I was
Totally.
in it and I was, like in the building. Also, I was working a 9 to 5 for the first 3 years we were open at Y Hill.
Oh, okay.
In like a corporate 9 to 5. And then, 5 to 10, I would come and
Well, somebody has to make the money,
here.
right?
Those are we are an entirely bootstrapped operation. So
Yeah, because you don't make money at a restaurant for the first at least 4 years,
no,
right?
no. So we had
Yeah,
to pay for shelter and food and health insurance and all of
exactly.
that.
I wish I had a husband during all this restaurant time.
I know. Well, I am amazing, I will say. I am amazing. I I was very supportive, and I would jump in the building and do whatever needed to be done. And
Yeah,
those first 3 years, a lot of it was just like fill in this job where nobody showed up. So
that's what the owner does.
that's what the owner does.
Yeah.
And then we sort of made it a little more official 3 years in when I did come on full time, but it wasn't clear. That was like one of the biggest mistakes. I came on and I sort of tried to be the CEO of
Mm,
everything and
mm.
be in charge of all the things, which I had
You
never done.
can't.
I had never done that before. I had never
It's so hard.
managed a team before.
It's so hard.
So that didn't go well. And then I sort of like shimmied on over to marketing, PR, business development, big partnerships, and wine. So I have a background in some training
Okay,
in the
cool.
wine certification world. Um, but then there's just this sort of like intangible connective tissue that the owner provides that's sort of
Mhm.
inquantifiable with the team and the vibe. And I was carrying a lot of that burden, but it wasn't definable really. And then I
Yeah.
had two babies. So yeah. So
No,
now
I don't have no kids. I don't know about all that.
so now you're asked, what is your role in the restaurant? Well, the reason I started this conversation series, this podcast, is because I'm trying to figure out what that is.
What do you wanna do? Yeah.
I am not involved in day-to-day operations anymore. And I went
Good.
through a really big reckoning when I realized, and I'm wondering if you went through the same thing. Like
Oh,
when I
yeah.
realized I can't do this anymore. I can't be in day-to-day operations anymore. And I think our situation is a little different. Um, I think your body might have just been broken and your soul might
Mhm.
have been like, I'm done. I don't know. I don't want to speak for you.
Yes, all of these are true things.
For me, it was I'm having this second baby. I know I can't keep going in this way, but I don't really know what I want to do in the business, or I don't even know where I'm most valuable. So I stepped out pretty much all of 2025 had
Mm.
a little boy who's doing great, so
Mm,
cute. Thank
congratulations.
you. And then sort of October, November, the management team started to say, "Hey, we miss you in this and
Where are you when you coming back? Yeah.
and we're seeing where there's sort of these balls being dropped, but we couldn't see it before when you were there." And it was kind of validating to hear that, I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
Um, like, "You need me." But I have to be really careful now because it's so easy to get sucked back into issues that are open,
Mhm.
and as the owner, you have the authority to, like, make a decision, but when you're
Yeah.
not in it day to day, you don't really always know the best decision. It really needs to be
Right.
up to them to decide
Right.
how to move forward. Chris is still in it
Exactly.
every day to day, all the things.
Really.
Yep, all the things, eyeballs deep, and I'm trying to figure out who
Is he, like, managing, like, everyone, or is he just, like
we have 2 wonderful general managers at each location
oh, good.
who've been with us for a long time, and we are so lucky that they're still with us, and that they've come up with us since 2020, really.
Mhm.
And so he works with them every day, and then it is actively trying to coach them to continue to take over more and more and more operational ownership so that
Mhm.
he doesn't need to be the decider on every single thing. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
It's like,
That was a long
just
monologue.
decide.
Sorry, this a conversation is supposed to be about you, but I do think
No,
it makes
fine.
sense.
It's interesting to learn about where you come from
Yeah.
too, because, um, yeah, that's just a part of networking and getting to know each other.
Did you have that feeling though when you were like, "I can't do operations anymore"? Did you have this feeling of like, "Oh, well, I'm just a big quitter. I'm just a big quitter."
Oh gosh. So after I sold my restaurant, I just felt like a failure that I had to close the restaurant, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in hindsight now, like, how long has it been? Like 6 years since I have not owned that restaurant. I feel like, I was feeling really unaccomplished and a failure, and I was scarred about ownership again, and
Mm,
um it took a lot of just like therapy and
yeah.
talking with other people that have owned restaurants and like relying on your community for like a reality check, because obviously I wasn't a failure. I had accomplished so much by the time I had to close that restaurant. It was my first restaurant and it only lasted 3 years, and so that's why I felt so, unaccomplished. But honestly, like, that was the hardest thing anybody could have done for the situation I was given. So, I
Many people probably couldn't have even done it that long, as long as you did.
yeah,
Most people.
and I've always kind of been, like, a perfectionist, and
What?
and so like, I would work myself to the bone and, like, anxiety chain smoke cigarettes, and, like, just I was being not taking care of myself and being really bad to my body, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I remember when I realized that I needed to sell this restaurant was I had gone back home to New Orleans to go to Jazz Fest for the first time in, like, the 12 years that I had lived in Portland. And when I was back home and at the concerts and seeing all my friends and eating all the food and being at home, I was like, I need to come back home. Like, what am I doing? You know, I need to come back to my safe space and recharge and realign myself because my life in Portland is not what I imagined for myself at 30 years old, right? 'Cause, like, that is when I bought this restaurant, I was only 30. So, it was just like this aha, like, right when I got back from that trip, I put the restaurant on the market, no bites for 6 months. None, nobody. And I was like, "I'm gonna have to like, file for bankruptcy and close," you know? And then it all moved so fast, like, I actually was like, looking for jobs in New Orleans to prepare to move back when I put everything on the market. And I had just been flown back home to have this interview with the brew pub people. And so I came back. That was like the end of August 2019. I came back. I had already started having little like side jobs to prepare myself for closing this restaurant. So I had a friend who had a catering company and I was like helping him cook at events and stuff. I had this event that I was going to help him with when I got back and I meet my partner now there. He was a server at this wedding, right? And so
It's the same partner that we saw, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, Sam. Yes, same guy. So I meet him and then like I was like, I kind of need extra help at my restaurant, And he comes and he starts helping me at the restaurant. But then like a month later after we meet is when the restaurant gets bought. And my broker sends me this email being like, okay, we have two offers. I would go with this one because they already have another restaurant and like blah, 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 but you need to be out in 10 days. And I was like, whoa, I've been here for 10 years,
And like down to the studs or like just
Just like get all of, the art and everything that I wanted to keep out.
but not like the equipment and the tables and chairs and stuff?
No, they were gonna keep all of that. I basically just sold all the assets that I had in the restaurant and because I was leasing and they took over my lease.
Really?
So they got an assignment in my lease, which I had just renewed the year before. So I still had like 4 years on that lease. And it was a goddamn miracle that they didn't close during COVID. Oh my God. Because I would have had to start paying the rent again if they defaulted.
So you sold it in 2019?
Yes.
Get out.
Like 6 months before COVID
The
happened,
universe
I had
held
sold
you.
my restaurant.
The universe held you in its
It
little
really did.
hand and was rocking you and was like, "And we can't and we can't pull you through this."
I know, and then COVID happened, and I watched as the rest of the world's restaurant owners went through exactly what I was going through, you
Yes.
know?
We opened
And
Y Hill in, June of 2019.
ugh, ugh,
I can laugh now.
yeah. I mean, I opened the brew pub in December of 2020, okay?
There you go.
That was the hardest thing ever, and, when you start something on the wrong foot, you just can sometimes never find your footing. You know?
But
Plus, the owners were like a father and son duo. And, I still keep in touch with them now. I don't really have any hard feelings about them as people, but they'd never owned a restaurant before.
mm,
He was like an attorney before he decided to retire and spend all of his money on this like, like brew pub. But they were green restaurant people and I wasn't. And that's why I thought they hired me. But ultimately, we just had different visions. They wanted all of the kind of credit, I think, for being successful.
glory.
I mean, I didn't care about that. I wanted to like our vibes weren't matching and there wasn't really anything else I could do more for them if they didn't want to make me a partner or things like that. And then Queer Eye happened and that dinner that I did at the end of the episode, they came in and they like revamped the place, like redecorated it, rented different tables, like put up the lanterns, and then we could see this, like, vision, but by that time, it was, like, too fucking late, you know? Like, I was already completely burnt out again after being completely burnt out just, like, a couple years prior, and I was back to where I was when I was at Tapalaya, And I was just like, the hiring, but finding good people during COVID was literally impossible. Impossible. I found a couple of good people. I had probably in the 2.5, 3 years that I was there, I had probably like 4 or 5 completely different kitchen crews, I just couldn't do it anymore, like,
Oh.
I was being the dishwasher a lot, and I was coming to do all the prep by myself, and I was doing some shopping by myself, and I was like, "I don't own this place, what the fuck am I doing?"
Bet you feel and I'm saying this fully recognizing that I have had employees who have expressed this to me and have felt this way, and I acknowledge that completely. The dread you must feel when you're like, "What the fuck is it gonna be today?"
Mhm.
Like, what is gonna fall out of line today that I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to then just panic and struggle, and that is
Well, it's
not
just like, who's gonna show up to work
who's
today?
gonna show up to work today and
Is anybody gonna fucking come? Yeah,
wanna
right.
provide a great guest experience, and you can't
Yeah.
trust that you can do that if you don't have the right team with you
Right,
to do that, and then
right,
you feel, as a perfectionist, probably like, "I'm not doing a I'm not doing a good enough job giving this gue" I don't know,
right.
there's only so
I'm also the type that
with
will
that.
jump in and just do something myself because I can do it
Yes,
better.
yes,
You know? Yes.
yes, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
and I
and
think
so that was, like, my problem, like, I was taught as kind of like a Vietnamese immigrant, a daughter of Vietnamese immigrants. The way you get people to do stuff is by nagging the shit out of them, right? Or micromanaging. But, like, the older I got, the more I wouldn't micromanage someone unless they really were struggling, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And I would consider myself a pretty cool boss because there was no topic that was off limits for me, but I had clear, like, boundaries and what not clear boundaries, God, no, because I was always, like, saving people's asses and, like, hopping in to save the day, you know? But just, like, I had clear expectations is what I meant to say, and I will show you how to do something over and over again until you know how to do it, you know? But people just don't like to communicate anymore, so there was all the ghosting and all the no-shows and all of the that just really gets to you, and, like, I find that young Chef Anlu had way thicker skin than older Chef Anlu.
What does that mean to you?
I don't know, being unbothered by other people's reactions and actions around you. And like my feelings were getting hurt so much by the end of my restaurant time because I was just too embroiled with everyone's stuff. Because I was also not just their boss, but their like therapist. If they needed to take the day off of work, then they would have to explain every little thing of why they needed that day off of work. And then I'm like, okay, just take the day off. I'll just do it, But it
I
just got old.
I have been in this position many, many times, and
Yeah.
something that I truly believe is unique to women
Mhm.
is this
Like, caring too much and wanting to help and then getting too involved
I
and getting too
struggle to say this
personal.
because I do
Yes.
care deeply about our employees. We could not do it without them,
Of
truly. And
course.
it is 100% the goal to provide them a healthy, positive place to come to work. I allowed myself as an operator to be taken advantage of many,
Oh,
many,
yeah.
many times, and
Oh, yeah.
they did not do that with my husband, so it was easier for me to see the difference between
Yeah.
how employees would approach me and I would respond versus Chris, who does not give a fuck what anyone thinks about him. Does not care. He's a wonderful human and does care about people's feelings, yes, but he is able to much more clearly see, no, the decisions that I make for the good of the restaurant are what's in the best interest of the team. And that might not
Mhm.
always be in the best interest of them individually,
Mhm.
but it is.
But all of that stuff affects the morale of the whole work environment, and it's just this perfect balance that oftentimes just, like, can never be met, you know? And then you've got such a dynamic between the younger green cooks, who most cooks these days are young and
Are young.
green because everybody's has, like, transitioned out if they didn't like it, you know? But then you've got your really experienced front of house people that are still doing it, and there's just like this hamster wheel of complaining that you can't get out of. If one person starts to complain, it's like a spread of poison wildfire, Then everybody complains. Then everybody's like, yeah, fuck this. And then like mutiny, It's
I
just
have
like,
you been through it? I have.
little bit. I mean, I actually haven't because I feel like the most detrimental time to the brew pub was when Hurricane Ida happened. And that was when everybody quit because people were moving or their mental health just got destroyed and they couldn't work in a high stress environment anymore. And then I was left alone. And I had a chef friend who stepped in to help me, and I really appreciated our time and efforts together. She I will not talk about because we are not on good terms anymore. But she was also the same person that I don't know if you saw that like last summer I was part of opening this like witch bar in New Orleans.
I did not see that. I saw your pop-ups that
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I like kind of halted my pop-ups to help her start this witch bar in the French Quarter. It was called Tot Low. And like 9 weeks in, I realized that this wasn't gonna work for all the reasons, right?
Mhm.
And so I just separated myself from her, but didn't tell anybody, like, only told my good friends and people that knew her about, like, what I was experiencing, but, I could've put everything that happened on blast, and I didn't, and I just left, you know? And so, like, yes, I value our friendship that we did have before this venture, but I found out who she really was from this venture, and we can no longer, like, be tight. So, it is what it is.
It
Yeah,
is so hard to go through those seasons. I can
yeah.
relate to that and so much.
Yeah, we should definitely have some drinks, off camera.
But, that is something I don't hear a lot of people talk about in our seat is this grief that comes from these professional breakups.
And there's a lot of them in the industry,
There's
you
a
know?
lot of them.
There's so much drama in the damn industry, and that is why I chose to leave it. I was just so done with all the drama, and I freaking love my life now. I have
Let's talk about that. What
Yeah.
is your life now? Because it looks amazing.
I mean, I curated this whole life my fucking self,
Yes.
and I am lucky enough to have a following that I don't need to, like, advertise myself anywhere. I don't need to go out and find clients. Like, I get just emails every day being like, "Can you cook for this party? Can you do this? Can you do that?" And I have to turn down work, like, every day.
Wow.
But,
You
yeah, so I do
you have created
mostly.
this world for yourself of
Yeah, I really
events,
have.
catering, and pop-ups, and it sounds like you get to choose what you wanna do.
I really do. Like, I just recently went to Vietnam and did a pop-up at a restaurant in Vietnam in December. It was awesome, and I've
Wow.
got some big plans for Vietnam because my dad lives there. He moved back there in 2022. I was visiting him. I've had this whole dream of going back to Vietnam and having some kind of business there, and I think it's gonna become a reality, like, a lot sooner than I thought. So, I don't wanna say anything about it yet, but there's things
Be on the
in the
lookout.
works. Yes, there's things in the works for Vietnam so that I can spend, like, half the year there and then half the year back in the States. So after I quit the brew pub in 2023, it was pretty early. It was, like, right before Mardi Gras, actually, of 2023. So it'll be my, like, 3-year anniversary of being my own boss. I'm really super proud of myself because I have been able in these 3 years, like, the first year, I was still burnt out from restauranting, so I did some of my own events and pop-ups, but I was mostly kind of like what's the word she says? I was mercenary cooking for my friend Chef Sofina, from Mr. Mao, this restaurant in New Orleans. They just got a Michelin Bib Gourmand, actually. Yes! I'm so proud of her. Like, that restaurant is also such a crazy whirlwind kind of restaurant. Lots of turnover, but lots of cool stuff happening, great vibes, but every restaurant has all of the stuff that embroils them, right? And I'm so proud of her. She's such a badass. But I was just like cooking there just to, keep busy. And I wasn't ready to like delve into my own business yet, honestly. It was just
Yes.
so fucking tired.
Needed it.
And so like like
Feel
just
the
being on call there and just working there once or twice a week really like helped me recover, kind of refocus my vision of where I saw my life. And then I started to like, after a year of working there, like, on and off every week, every other week, whatever, um, I was like, "I definitely don't wanna open a restaurant again." So, I was like, I'm gonna delve into my private events and see how that goes," and now I have to turn down work. And then in March of 2025, last year, I started making and bottling this sauce that I've kind of made my whole career. It's called Sang sauce. It is based on all the herbs in a bowl of pho. So it's like a basil forward tangy emulsion. So it has like cilantro, scallions, basil. It has lime juice, rice vinegar, and then I also add some sambal chili paste and a little bit of Creole mustard for like a little
Hey,
Viet Cajun zing, right?
can we order this sauce?
Well, so right now I'm only at the farmer's market in New Orleans because it's like falling under cottage food law and I can make it at my house and it's a refrigerated item. So I'm a little bit scared to try to ship it because then I have to get the FDA involved and like do all of the like
Technology land.
right and like find a FDA kitchen and like do all that crap that I have zero interest in supporting the government and giving them money and any of that, right?
Good.
So I don't know, I might do like a secret like sale online and have like a pre-sale thing and just ship small batches every, you know?
Idea. What if
Yeah.
you come to Raleigh
Yeah.
and have like a little, a kiki in Raleigh,
Yes.
and then we could do a collab event, and you can make your sauce in our
Yeah, and have like yeah, I can make this sauce at the restaurant
little.
and then we can have like a little sauce party. I would love that. I would love that.
Planting the seed.
Yes, I would love to do a collab anything like a dinner, a sauce event, like I'm down to travel,
Awesome.
honestly.
I love
Yeah,
it.
totally.
Well, I think where you're at now is very aspirational, and I'm wondering what you might say to someone listening to this who is in that mode of like, I'm done with service.
Mhm.
I am done being beholden to a brick and mortar, but I feel trapped and I don't know what to do. What would you tell them?
I mean, honestly, I was in the same space when I was like figuring out whether I wanted to leave the brew pub or not because I was scared of financial instability. Like when I had the restaurant, I was like so poor and I just never wanted to be in that position again. And so I let like the money like control what I was doing. But honestly, now that I'm 3 years out of it, like that having a restaurant job limited me. Like
Boom.
it it you
Period.
it limited me because, at a restaurant, you don't get paid more if it's busier, you know?
Mhm.
Like, you just get paid your same paycheck even if you fucking got slammed, you know? So, like, the fact that I can choose my own hours and travel wherever I wanna travel, cook whatever I wanna cook, be sick if I need to be sick, you know? Like, I do a lot of stuff myself, but honestly, like, there are so many friends and restaurant friends that have jumped in to help me with bigger events and pop-ups and all that stuff. So, like, not having a staff is great for me because I've made so many good relationships that I can rely on my community, you know? And, like, New Orleans is a lot smaller than people think it is.
Mhm.
So, like, growing up there, working there, like, I know everybody,
Terrific.
right? And, like, the community in New Orleans is, I would say, its greatest asset because we all are fucking looking out for each other and helping each other in any kind of ways, Like, if I need a little prep space and I don't have it for some reason, I can do it at any of my friends' restaurants or restaurant spaces. And, like, if I am short on some product that I can't find, like, I can go ask my friend that has it on their menu if I can have a little bit or something. Like, it's just, it's different. It make my life isn't the same every single day. I'm not stuck like going to the same place at the same time every day. And I love that. I love that so much. I actually recently, like 6 months ago, I got an assistant that is like kind of my computer person. She replies to all my emails. She does my invoicing. She does all my menu mock-ups. She's my assistant during private dinner, like small private dinners. She's like down for anything. She's 25. She wasn't really in the restaurant industry or anything.
Fair
She's
salary?
fucking great. No, I just pay so I have, like, different ways that I pay her. So, for all the computer work, that's an hourly thing, but I treat her like a contractor, so I'm just gonna 1099 her.
Okay.
But, like, for private dinners, there's a different rate. For pop-ups, there's a different rate. For kitchen prep, there's a different rate. So, she just, like, bills me every 2 weeks, and I pay her.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's easy because 'cause I'm like, "Hey, I actually don't wanna be anybody's boss." Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
just I just don't, like,
Say less.
it's it's too much because it's like, then all these expectations, and then you have to be thinking extra hard about other things that other people are gonna do, and you're just like, "I don't care what you do." Like, I don't wanna be in control of what people are doing, you know?
It sounds like
Anyway,
you are living your best life.
I really am.
Really are, and I'm
And
so thrilled for you because you really do deserve it. I know we
thank
just met, but
you.
you really deserve it, and
Thank you.
you sharing this experience, I know is gonna touch somebody, if not many, many people who are in the same spot.
Yeah,
Like, I'm trapped and I don't know what to do,
yeah.
and I love changing the mindset from scarcity to abundance mindset where you're like, "No, this is back.
Exactly.
This is holding me
Exactly.
back." There's not necessarily financial instability out there. I just like that.
Exactly. Like, the moment I left that job, it like, the universe gave me a big ol' hug again, and I started getting work that week that I left my job. And I was just like, "What have I been waiting for?" You know? You are your only block. Just like Bad Bunny said at the Super Bowl. Believe in yourself because it works. Like, if you are a good person and if you have good intentions in this world, everything's going to be fine. You know? It really is. Like, I was all scared about money and all this stuff, but it really delve into being yourself. And sometimes you have to jump off the building, you know?
Yeah. I
And it does get scary. You do make less money at times if it's slow or something, but it's like, it's fine. When it's slow and I don't have business, guess what? I can just be like, "Hey, friend, can I come cook at your restaurant for the day?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So everybody's looking out for each other, and you don't have to be afraid of anything really anymore. Like, just believe in yourself and go do it. Just do what you say you're gonna do, and you'll be fine. You know?
Well, and thank you so, so much for responding to my DM, for
Oh, yeah.
for responding to my cold DM on Instagram. Thank you so much for meeting me and for
Yeah.
time. And I just think you are so fabulous. Um,
Thank you.
I can't wait until our inevitable sauce party is
Yes, seriously, let's
happening.
connect after this and plan it and see when we can do it.
Love it. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Her Seat at the Table. I hope you leave inspired with a morsel of motivation to take into your day, your week, into the next chapter of your career. And if you loved today's episode, share it with someone who you think could benefit from hearing it, and maybe consider leaving us a 5-star review. I hope to see you soon, and thank you so much for listening to Her Seat at the Table.